Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna show you how to properly clean your car if you accidentally fill it with the wrong fuel, such as putting petrol instead of diesel. The other day while I was driving, I mistakenly filled my car with petrol, and to resolve this issue I contacted a roadside assistance company which usually helps with the car breakdowns, and they can tow your car either to your workshop or your home address. I did not start my car with petrol inside it because it would damage my engine. This is because petrol contains carbon atom ranging from 5 to 12 with hydrogen bonds, while diesel has a carbon atoms greater than 12. The difference in carbon atoms lead to distinct physical properties, making it extremely problematic for engine if you mistakenly use petrol instead of diesel. Furthermore, it is essential to note that both petrol and diesel are hydrocarbon, and if they are mixed together, they form a homogeneous mixture. The only way to separate them is uh, is use distillation process similar to what we do in crude oil extracted from beneath the surface. The process distillation process is carried out in industrial settings to separate them into different fuels. So for me, the only viable solution was to empty my tank and remove all the petrol diesel fuel mixture to avoid any potential hazard to my car engine. To completely empty your car fuel tank, you need to access the fuel pump located beneath the back seat. And now I'm demonstrating how you can remove the back seat so that you can access the fuel pump. Uh, Please note that the black area in the image, this area is the where the fuel pump is located. First, you need to open the two screws from the top, and then you can remove the black surface to access the fuel pump. Now you can see the fuel pump. It's quite dirty because it hasn't been opened in last 13 years of my car's life. To improve its condition, I spray some WD-40 on the connections and the fuel getting pipes that are going to the engine, so that I loosen the electrical connections. When I loosen the electric connection, I took a lot of care so that they cannot be broke easily. Next, I remove the pipes by pressing the small hole beneath, actually located beside them, allowing them to take taken out easily. And now to remove this black ring, I applied WD-40 more. It was quite challenging for me to take it around. It almost took me 20 to 15 minutes to remove it. Uh, I use actually a smaller pipe and a hammer, and I turn it anti-clockwise. As you know, most of the things need to be rotated anti-clockwise if you want to open it. Once it was opened, um, I actually have access to the fuel pump. So here I'm showing you that how I open this ring. Once you have this ring open and you have access to the fuel tank, you can see that you can take your fuel and diesel petrol and diesel mixture out easily. So to take this out, I actually buy a separate pump which you can buy from any auto shop. This pump has two wires that are can be connected to a battery, and then I actually use a separate wires because the wires were small. To the pump wires, I connect these wires to the battery, and here you can see that I'm connecting to the battery, and then I'm taking them to connect it with the pumps connection. I use the gray tape so that they do not short circuit because it will damage the battery. And as the pump is operating, the fuel diesel mixture begin to flow from the tank through the pump into the bottle that I set out, and I actually able to get almost 14 liter of liquid, and the tank was completely empty. And here you can see that it's flowing from tank to the bottle which I use to collect. So I removed the fuel pump, but normally you don't need to do this. You can simply move it aside and uh, do this extracted fuel from the tank. But I did it, and I made a video inside the tank to check how much fuel was left after the pump had extracted most of it. There are only few traces of fuel left, which is acceptable. As you can see, there's a very few traces of this bluish fuel, but that's gonna not cause any damage to the car engine because it's very less. Yeah, and this is how fuel tank look like from inside. Yeah, and after that I went back to the petrol station. I bring 8 liter of diesel and put inside the car tank, and started my car. I close everything. I put fuel pump back and ensuring everything was closed properly, and the car started perfectly. There was no issues. I can show you in the front of the dashboard that the car sensor indicated that the fuel level was at the second level with two small dots displaying on the screen. So it means that everything was working as expected. Yeah, here you can see that. I returned to the gas station and filled my tank almost completely with diesel. And as a tip for everyone, remember that the nozzle or hose for petrol in Europe is in green color, while for diesel it's black color. And your car fuel tank knob also typically have a corresponding color indication, or it's their naming there. For example, in my car it's written as a diesel. So always remember to check. And if you are in Europe, then remember that green is for petrol and black is for diesel. Thank you.